Okay everyone, welcome to today's API cooking class. Today we are going to go over the code for uploading files to the contacts file box. So what we'll do is I'll show you how this is all set up, and then I will go through the code and what changes that you need to make very quickly. So what we're going to do here is this project assumes that you are going to use two things. You're going to use two web forms, a script, and that's about it really. And the way that it's going to work is this. You are going to have, I'm going to go here to a demo. Here you're going to have an normal Infusionsoft web form that collects all of the information except for your file or files, as the case may be. So you're going to have that first. Come on, any minute now. I should probably pause what I'm thinking. Okay, so here, all I have here is just this simple form, and then of course yours is going to have what all you want on it, as well as any styling that you want. In my case, I don't need that for this demo. I just have a plain simple form with, when it comes up, first name and email address. Come on, come on, come on. There. Okay. First name, email. Great. Okay. So I have a very simple form. It's going to collect first name, email. Now, how you're going to set this up is you are going to, in the thank you page, you are going to send this to a web address, and the web address is going to be this PHP file that contains another form, and it's this form that is going to grab the files that you want to upload. Okay, so you're going to pass it to your campaign, your upload file form, and you're going to have to make absolutely sure that you check the pass contact information to the thank you page, because that's how it's going to know which contact record to put the files in. And then, so just to show you what that second form looks like, again, I have not styled this in any way. Okay, so I have a on my campaign form here, CB upload file form. I have a file picker, okay, and a submit button. That's it. That's all we've got on that form. So that's the thank you page, and when that submits, it's going to submit to another script, which is going to process that, put it in the file box, and then send them to a thank you page. So I think what we'll do is we'll go through the code very quickly. That way you know what's going to happen, and then I'll show you. Then I'll just go through it and actually have it all work. Okay, so this is the code for your form. This is a PHP file. You are going to put it in your scripts folder. We're assuming, as we do in all of our recipes, that you have already got the Infusionsoft SDK properly set up on your system, and that if you don't, then you can use our setup guide to do that. This form, the first thing it's going to do is, because this is the second form in the process, it's got to get the contact ID, which you'll remember is being passed because you clicked that checkbox on the thank you page settings here. Okay, so because that's being passed, the code in this form is going to grab that, and it is going to use it to populate the value of a hidden field here called contact ID. And when this gets submitted, that'll go with it, and that's how it knows to put it in the correct contact record. The only thing that you should need to change at all on this, other than of course you're probably going to add fields maybe, or certainly style this using CSS to make it look a little bit nicer. But the only thing that you have to change potentially to make this work at all is this form action. This is the script, CB upload files, that's going to actually process this. It is assuming that that is in the same folder directory as this form file. So if it is not, you would need to change this path in order to make that work properly. The other thing is, this is a PHP page or PHP file, and that is another assumption. If you were to take this, copy and paste this onto a WordPress page, it will not work, because this PHP will not work on a WordPress page. There are some options if you wanted to go that route. One is there's two plugins you could use. One is URL params by Jeremy Shapiro, which will allow you to grab things out of the query string and put them in your directly in the WordPress post or content. Another one, there are plenty of plugins that allow you to execute PHP on the page in Infusion, or in rather WordPress. You could also use some jQuery or some JavaScript. So I'm not going to go into how to make that happen on WordPress, but just know if you just copy and paste this, it is not into WordPress, it is not going to work. This assumes that you are going to put this file on your server. You are going to go from the from the Infusionsoft form to this form. And what I would just recommend is that you use CSS to style this form in a way that makes it somewhat consistent with your Infusionsoft form, and call it a day. Other than that, you should not need to change anything here. So when you look at this, I showed this to you already. I'll just hit preview. This has no styling at all. Here is the multi-file chooser, and then the upload button. Okay, so that is, you're going to have this uploaded in your scripts folder, and you are also going to need to have this script, which is called cbuploadfiles.php, in the same scripts folder. And this is what on submit it's going to call. This is going to process all of the information on that second form. So the first thing, just quickly, what it's going to do is first going to just check and make sure that there were some files selected in, and if not, it'll give you an error message. There were no files to be uploaded. It's going to connect to Infusionsoft. So here's the first point at which you may have to make a change in this script. In this case, I have my SDK in a different folder than this script is located. So if you look at this, here are my scripts. They are in a folder called apidemo.com scripts kim KS cookbook recipes, but to get to the SDK, we have the SDK here in live Infusionsoft. So to get to that path, we have to this is the path. Now for you may have the SDK right outside, one level up from your scripts folder, whatever that is, wherever it is. You are going to need to change this path to reflect where your ISDK file is. Okay. So the second thing that you might need to change is this. This is my connection name in my con.config file. Yours will certainly be different since this is my app name. So whatever yours is, you're going to need to change right here. The rest of the stuff here you should not need to change. Everything else, oh yes you should. There's one other thing. So just what this does, just so you know, so it's getting the contact ID again, which is carrying over from page to page. It's connecting to Infusionsoft, and then it's because this chooser allows you to choose multiple files. It's got a loop. The loop loops through each one of the files, As it finds each file, it's opening that file, it is reading the file, it is base64 encoding it, which is what it has to be before it can go up to Infusionsoft. It is then uploading that file to Infusionsoft into the file box of the contact ID, and then it is writing a result to a log file for troubleshooting. If it worked and it uploaded successfully, it'll have a note in that file. If it didn't, it will also have a note in that file. It is also, just so that you know, got a little flag here called file upload success. If any of the files, so if you have three and any one of the three do not upload successfully, it will flip that flag to 0. And the reason I do that is because the last step on this process is to redirect them to a thank you page, which will happen almost, very, very, very quickly, almost instantly. They won't see this processing happen. But what I've done is said if file upload success is equal to 1, which is where that flag started, then we're going to send them to our thank you page. This you will need to change. Of course, you will want to make this your thank you page. Else, echo there was a problem with file upload, please inform the site administrator, so that will show up on their page. If for some reason one of those files was not able to upload. If that is the case, then again, you should have some note in the log file that we created, which is called file error log .text. It would be in the same folder as the script itself, and you can check that to see the name, which see which what happened. Actually, we don't put the file name there, but we probably could. Anyway, so that's it. That's the file. So you're gonna, just to recap, you need to put the whatever your thank you page is, where you want them to end up when this process is over with. You need to put your connection name in your from your con.config file, and you will need to make sure that this is the proper path to your SDK file. And other than that, it should all work properly. So let me, assuming it's all installed properly. So let me just take you through the process and show you how that is all going to work. So I'm going to start here at our campaign, and oops, let me just go back to this for a second. Hang on. So that figures. Let me get back to this. Hopefully it'll be quicker than it was the last time. Okay, so this is the form. We're just going to use the hosted version of that. Come on, there we go. And I'm going to put in a new contact here, although I could use an existing one, but we'll just say Mickey Mouse, and we'll say mickey.mouse at kimsnyder.com. So this is, just to remind you, this is step 1 of the process. This is the Infusionsoft form. When I hit submit, it's going to create a record, in this case for Mickey Mouse. If Mickey was already there, it would be updating his record, and then the thank you page is going to take me to my second form, which allows me to select the file that I want to upload. Now, one thing to remember here is that Infusionsoft will only allow you to upload a file which is less than 10 meg. So we'll just grab this little CSV file here, export time log, 20 KB. We'll say open. No, you know what? I'm going to grab 2, just so that, yeah, just so you can see that it is a multi-file picker here. So I'm going to say open. It says I've got 2 files, and then I'm going to say upload. Now what's going to happen here is there's going to be a delay, a brief delay while it uploads those files, and then it takes us to our thank you page. So based on that, I'm going to assume that both of those were successful. Remember that I told you that we should have a file error log in our folder. Okay. Oops, I need to fix that date. But nonetheless, so you can see two files were uploaded for Mickey Mouse, which is 21195. Those were both uploaded successfully. So if we now go to over to Infusionsoft and I get out of this campaign and I look up Mickey, here's Mickey Mouse. So I open that and I look in his file box. Mickey Mouse should have two files. He does, export timelog and Ramona.php. So that is how the process actually works. I will fix the time in that timestamp in that error file. And actually, as long as I'm going to go in there, I will also add the file name, which would probably be helpful in case one does not complete successfully. You'll know which one it is. And that is about it in terms of the setup. Now, I will let you know we do offer implementation services for we are adding implementation services as fast as we can. This is one of the projects that we have an implementation service for. So if you click on this button right here, starting you can see it describes the there it goes, describes the implementation project, what we do, what we require in order to implement it for you. And we will just go in and set this all up for you for $250. If you would like to add additional things to the project, like conditional thank you page redirects, non-Infusionsoft additional web forms that are not Infusionsoft web forms, basic fields written to additional tables, etc., blah blah blah. You can see all those here. You can do that. If you want to, you can just put in your credit card information, or from here would pay by IPN, which is the Intuit Payment Network, and one of our team would be happy to get this set up and installed for you. So that is how you get to that. And any other questions that you have, just let us know. I'm going to, if I haven't already, enable the comments. I have not, but I will enable the comments on the bottom of this recipe, and so you can leave your questions, and if you have any issues, you can leave them there. The other place that I would recommend is the Facebook group, the API for Beginners, or no, sorry, API Learners group. Hang on one second, let me tell you exactly what it's called. Okay, it's this. It is officially called the Infusionsoft API Learners Group, which is a group on Facebook. If you don't already belong to that, you can ask questions there as well. And if you are able to answer people's questions, I hope that you will do that also. So thanks for checking out our project, the file upload project. And if we can help you with any of your custom development projects, we would like to do that as well. Please just fill out a project request form by requesting a consultation, and we would love to talk to you about that. So thanks, everybody.